Welcome. You're watching News Central Television. I am Judith at TB. It's time for News Central now, and here are the top stories at this hour. PDP governors convene emergency meeting in Abuja amidst growing defections. Rivers State government calls for stronger collaboration to combat sea piracy and criminality. 7 killed in devastating floods in Mogadishu following heavy rains. Details shortly. And news now begins in West Africa, Nigeria, where governors elected under the banner of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, are set to convene in Abuja today, Sunday, amid a growing wave of defections that has recently hit the party. In a bid to address the ongoing crisis and the increasing number of defections, the PDP governors have extended invitations to former governors and other key stakeholders within the party to join today's critical meeting. The gathering, scheduled to take place at the Bauchi State Governor's Lodge in Asokoro, Abuja, comes at a time of heightened tension and uncertainty as the party braces for its National Executive Committee NEC meeting on May 27th, which is expected to be a pivotal moment in the party's future direction. The crisis within the party deepened 2 weeks ago when Delta State Governor Oborevwori, alongside his predecessor, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, and the entire PDP structure in the state defected to the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. Still in politics, as preparations intensify for the July 12th local government elections in Lagos State, the All Progressives Congress, APC, on Saturday concluded its primaries ahead of the poll. At the party secretariat in Ikeja, party leaders, delegates, and party agents, among others, participate in deciding the candidates across the 20 local government area and 37 local council development areas. The chairman of the APC Electoral Committee, Babatunde Ogala, after several hours of sorting and counting, announced the results for the chairmanship candidates who will be representing the party in the forthcoming Lagos State local government election. Ogala emphasized the party's commitment to a smooth and transparent process, while the Deputy Governor of Lagos State encouraged the electorate to uphold democratic principles throughout the process. And now to security matters. Northern governors and traditional rulers on Saturday converged on Kaduna to tackle the worsening insecurity and other critical issues facing the region. The high-level summit focused on insecurity, poverty, the growing number of out-of-school children, and broader socio-economic challenges confronting northern Nigeria. The governors from Kaduna, Zamfara, Kebbi, Gombe, and Niger states attended alongside prominent traditional leaders, including the Sultan of Sokoto, Said Abubakar, the Emir of Zauzau, and the Atsu Nupe.
In spite of our best efforts so far, either as individual state governments or a collective, we cannot overemphasize the critical need to once again address pointedly the twin scourges of poverty and insecurity across the states in the north. Our region once revered as for its rich culture, agricultural abundance, and resilience, now bears the heaviest burden of economic deprivation and violent unrest. Millions of our people are trapped in cycles of destitution, with insecurity driving displacement and economic paralysis. This unacceptable reality demands more than rhetoric. It requires decisive, united, and sustained action.
This meeting comes at a critical juncture in our region's history, when the challenges we face demand nothing less than our collective wisdom and decisive action. I want to express my deepest condolences to the governments and peoples of Plateau, Bauchi, Benue, Borno, and Yobe states, and indeed the entire people of northern Nigeria over the recent tragic killings that took place in the various states. This mindless act of violence against innocent citizens reminds us of the urgent need to redouble our security efforts and ensure that adequate security measures are vigorously implemented for the safety of our people. While we commend Mr. President for his sustained commitment to Nigeria's security, we must acknowledge the recent setbacks in our efforts to combat insecurity and other social vices.
Let's turn our attention to northwest Nigeria, where banditry has forced thousands from their homes, leaving once thriving communities now abandoned and desolate. Families who once lived in peace are now struggling to survive, cramped into makeshift shelters with little hope of ever returning to their former lives. Katsina State, one of the hardest hit areas, remains without official camps or structured aid, leaving residents to face shattered lives and fading dreams. News Center's correspondent Jamil Mabai brings us the heartbreaking stories of those living in constant fear. Take a look.
This was not the life Aisha and her little sister Rafa'atu dreamed of. Once, they lived comfortably, going to school, playing freely. Now, home is a cramped, crumbling shanty. Their future uncertain, their safety gone. I asked the little Rafa'atu why they left their village. She mutters one word: bandits, that shattered their world. Rafa'atu used to go to school. Now, she doesn't even know if she will ever return. Like thousands across northwest Nigeria, her family is trapped in a crisis with no end in sight. Katsina is among the hardest hit. No IDP camps, no government shelters, just shanties. For families who once owned homes, this is now the only option.
Gidana na buge da siminti shigiwa uku.
Daki nawa?
Daki uku. Sai dakin hatsi guda. Hudu kenan. Sai zaure. Sai kitchen. Duka akwai. Amma zaman zo nan cikin kara.
No mattress, no bed, just the bare floor.
Ina ba wai labarin ka dana batun katifa sauki ya zo kenan. Bai dadi. Amma an babu dadi ai duk inda ka samu dan tabbata ne zamu shiga. Dan shigo mu da iyali yawa.
Yet, for these families, it is still safer than home, because home is now a war zone.
Ai to ayan ne na tabbata haka Allah ko nawa zaka bani ban yi mutun nan. Ko ma nawa zaka bani in tayi ma Allah bani zuwa. Wallahi ƙara mace jo. Duwane in ta'adda. Gashi baki kiran malin.
Bandits don't just steal property, they steal lives. They kidnap, they kill, they terrify. And for those who escape, the trauma lingers.
Buga mai waya sai dan ta'addan ya bude baki yace min ba shi bane ba hakili bane ba ni ne dan ta'adda nace kai ne dan ta'adda yace ina ce subhanallahi ni Allah mu tsakani da kai sai yace sauran ni nace ni yace ni yace nace to mun yi ba ni ba a taɓa sabgar da ban je ba amma saboda wannan kalmar da wannan dan ta'adda ya min nace ba ni zuwa ban je ba wallahi Allah ya dama ga annan mutanen ba su kin gani sam.
This is the reality for thousands in Katsina, displaced, forgotten, living in shadows. They did not choose this life. Banditry forced it upon them. And until something changes, their suffering will only grow. In Katsina, for News Central, I am Jamil Mabai.
Many thanks to Jamil Mabai for that report. Let's go on a short break, shall we? When we return, there's plenty more. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Rivers State government is calling for stronger collaboration between security agencies and community stakeholders and residents to tackle the rising threats of sea piracy, illegal oil bunkering, and other forms of criminal activity in the state. The charge was made by the state's sole administrator, Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ekwe Ibas, retired, during a town hall security stakeholders meeting held in Okpobo town on Saturday. Represented by the State Commissioner of Police Olubenga Adepoju, Ibas highlighted the importance of collective efforts to protect critical government assets and infrastructure. He assured residents that the government is committed to improving healthcare, education, road rehabilitation, and other key welfare initiatives to improve living standards in the region. In his welcome address, the administrator of Putin-Ukraine local government area, Mr. Frederick Apiafi, described the meeting as timely and essential, urging participants to engage in meaningful and constructive dialogue. And we leave away from that now as a group of lawyers have expressed support for Senate President Godswill Akpabio's decision to step down from a presidential panel investigating sexual harassment allegations made by Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. The lawyers argue that Akpabio's withdrawal was the right thing to do, as his involvement could have been perceived as a conflict of interest. The panel was established by President Bola Tinubu on April 2nd, 2025, headed by Vice President Kashim Shettima, with a mandate to investigate the serious allegations that have drawn national attention and embarrassment. Other members of the panel included the National Security Advisor Nuhu Rubadu, the Attorney General of the Federation Lateef Fagbemi, and one representative each nominated by Senator Akpabio and Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has announced the successful repatriation, of 115 trafficked Nigerians from Abuja in Ivory Coast. Now, in a statement released on Saturday in Abuja, spokesperson of the ministry, Kimiebi Ebiana, confirmed that the returnees were scheduled to arrive on Saturday at Lagos Murtala Mohammed International Airport aboard a chartered flight. The victims, who were reportedly trafficked to Côte d'Ivoire, were brought back at no cost to the Nigerian government. Efforts to combat human trafficking have intensified following disturbing reports of underage Nigerian girls being trafficked abroad. The federal government is urging that Nigerian journalists to uphold ethical journalism and embrace media information literacy as a vital tool in the fight against fake news and misinformation. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, made the call on the sidelines of a thought leadership forum held in Abuja. Our correspondent Joshua Marai reports.
The 13th event, which focused on technology, education, and entertainment, brought together young innovators and media stakeholders from across Nigeria. Speaking at the sidelines of the gathering, Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris emphasized the need for continuous training for journalists and the adoption of media literacy practices. He stressed that this is essential to ensure the credibility and accuracy of information disseminated to the public.
It is also important for them to know that as they go along, they need to imbibe media literacy, media information literacy, because they need that. That is the only tool that they require to discern between fake news and real news, between misinformation and information. You need that because in this age, the social media especially can both be a unifier and also an agent of destruction, depending on how you use it. We want everyone to use the social media especially, which has come to stay, by the way, as a tool for unifying all of us.
Student speakers at the event also highlighted the importance of education and inclusive dialogue in promoting national unity and combating disinformation.
Wherever you are in life, no matter how low you think you are, how much you think you failed, you can't get back up with the right determination and effort.
Embracing our differences, I chose the topic because I am Turkish and some people are Nigeria because I am in Nigeria. So that's why I choose the topic, so that the people know that they should not do something bad about the other people because they are not the same with the other ones.
The event provided a platform for engagement between the government, media, and the youth with a shared vision of building a more informed and responsible society. In Abuja for News Central, I am Joshua Imarai.
The Kogi state government has reaffirmed its commitment to the security and well-being of its citizens, assuring the public that efforts to safeguard lives and property are being intensified across the state. In a statement issued on Saturday, the Commissioner for Information and Communications, Kingsley Ifeanyi, described recent security threats as desperate attempts by criminal elements to disrupt the peace in the state. Fanwo emphasized that these threats will not weaken the resolve of Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo's administration to uphold law and order. He added that the government has already activated several strategic security operations, some of which cannot be publicly disclosed for security reasons. The commissioner also highlighted the administration's ongoing investment in strengthening local vigilante networks and its deepening collaboration with conventional security agencies to ensure a safer Kogi state. Now to the energy sector, as corn oil producing, the oil exploration outfit of Nigerian telecom and oil billionaire Mike Adenuga has made another bold move in Africa's energy industry by achieving a major milestone: the export of Nigeria's newest crude oil blend, known as Obodo Blend. In April 2025, corn oil producing under the leadership of Adenuga, the first Nigerian businessman to strike oil, officially launched the Obodo Blend, marking a fresh chapter for Nigeria's oil industry. Production was carried out under a production sharing contract with the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL. The Obodo Blend is a medium sweet crude extracted from the onshore OML 150 block. Now, this block is managed by Continental Oil and Gas Limited, one of the operating companies under Adenuga's corn oil producing, which holds 6 oil blocks across the Niger Delta. In a historic first, Owando Trading, the trading arm of Owando Group, led by Group Chief Executive Wale Tinubu, became the first company to purchase and lift the new Obodo Blend. The offtake was carried out by the Atlantic Spirit, one of Owando's vessels under the watch of Sanctuary Ports and Terminals, marking the debut of Obodo crude on the international market. A key part of this milestone was Sanctuary Ports and Terminals, whose management of the Tamara Tokoni, a floating production, storage and offloading vessel, carried the crucial link between corn oil's onshore wells and Owando's export tanker. Now, thanks to their careful coordination, the first barrels of Obodo crude set sail smoothly under Panama's flag. Well, congratulations to all involved. Nigeria's National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, is set to partner with Dangote Refinery to improve the supply of petroleum products across the country. Now, this was made known in Abuja as the Group Chief Executive Officer of the NNPC Limited received the management of the Dangote Refinery PCL at the NNPC Limited headquarters in Abuja. The Chief Executive Officer of the Dangote Refinery assured of the refinery's commitment to the partnership, saying that they are open to future collaborations that will improve Nigeria's oil and gas sector.
Nothing like competition between us. The relationship is that of collaboration, and we'll continue to collaborate in various sectors, downstream, upstream, whatever it is. Even if there are things that we're not into, if they invite us to collaborate and join forces, we'll do so.
The Office of the National Security Advisor has secured the conviction of 15 individuals and prosecuted over 100 others in a clampdown on pipeline vandalism in the Niger Delta. NSA Nuhu Rubadu, represented by Aide Amakiri Harry Young, at a town hall meeting in Yenagoa, confirmed the convictions as part of efforts to safeguard crude oil infrastructure and meet President Tinubu's target of 2.5 million barrels per day. A special committee is working continually to ensure vandals face justice. Meanwhile, Petroleum Infrastructure Nigeria Limited, PINL, has reported major success in reducing pipeline infractions through collaboration with communities and security agencies. Ijaw leaders and traditional rulers also commended PINL's approach, while calling for stronger agreements under the Petroleum Industry Act and more federal engagement with local stakeholders. The Nigeria Police Force says it is set for the second edition of the Police Awards and Commendations, scheduled for Wednesday, June 4th at the Police Resource Center in Abuja. Now, speaking to journalists in Abuja, the Force Public Relations Officer Olumiwa Adejobi said the initiative, approved by the Inspector General of Police Kaide Betokun, is aimed at recognizing officers for acts of bravery, professionalism, integrity, and exceptional service across the country. He noted that the awards are part of broader reforms targeted at improving personnel motivation, welfare, and operational performance.
Hosting of the Nigeria Police Awards and Commendations ceremony is a part of a more comprehensive response package aimed at improving personnel overall welfare and motivation. This includes steady and significant improvement in housing and working conditions across all police commands and formations. It also includes the emplacement of a credible and transparent reward system which will identify, recognize, and honor acts of honesty, gallantry, dedication, patriotism displayed by our officers.
The award should have taken place since February, March. But, seeing all of the nominees that came in from across the country, just to be able to come up with something transparent, and you needed to see the sessions that the IGP and the management team will have to go through the list over and over just to come up with the different nominees in the different categories. And we have about, at the end of the day, we have about 38 nominees. So it was a very thorough process.
Now let's head to Kogi State, shall we, where the Ogori people, part of the Akoko group within the larger Yoruba ethnic family, are holding fast to their cultural roots, even as many have embraced Christianity and Islam. One of the most cherished expressions over their heritage is the Ovia Osese festival, a unique rite of passage for young girls transitioning into womanhood. But this annual event is more than just a cultural milestone. It is a powerful symbol of unity for the Ogori people, drawing sons and daughters from across the world back home to celebrate their identity. Now, News Central's Blessings Musugu was at the heart of the celebrations and now brings us the concluding part of a special report. Take a look.
It's day 7 and the final day of the Ovia Osese festival in Kogi State, and the Ogori people are excited for the arena event, which is the major celebration when the maidens are finally revealed after spending about 2 weeks in the Iyodina's house, receiving industrial training and learning how to live and thrive as women in the society. Earlier in the day, we visited the Iyodina, the woman king, and the equivalent of the nurturer of the maidens in Ogori land.
My name is Mabel. I know Musugu. I feel happy. I feel great. The name of our age group is Tekaron Age Group. You can see we are gorgeous. The importance of Ovia Osese Festival is initiating our daughters to womanhood. It's an abomination for an Ogori indigene to be pregnant before Ovia Osese. This is a great joy that we see our daughter that they have done their Ovia Osese before marriage, and we are also teaching them how to be a good wife to the husband in their household. 5 of my children have done their Ovia Osese.
At the arena, a burst of colors as usual. The future EVS, who are called the Ibusukes, dance in procession, followed by the EVS, who are the actual celebrants, flanked by elderly women. After which the Iyodina is escorted in, followed by different age groups, dignitaries and neighboring guests.
Every year we have the best cultural treat. I think it starts from the carnival from the previous day, the Ovia day. So there's a collation of results, and then the best group is given a trophy Okay, we hold it for a year, and after the year, we return it, and I think we'll get it again. We held it for 2 years consecutively. I grew up knowing about the Ovia Osese festival. In the past, I think it's still like that these days. I hear that it helps ladies to stay pure, because everyone wants to go through the Ovia Osese festival. So the Oborians are proud of bringing out pure girls.
I'm very happy. I'm so excited to be among the Ovias of 2025. If you haven't done Ovia Osese 2025, it's an insult to the family, because the female child is not set for womanhood, and without Ovia you cannot get married. Only virgins are allowed to participate in Ovia Osese.
The governor of Kogi State, His Excellency Alhaji Ahmed Usman Ododo, arrived at the venue, gave a speech congratulating the Oguri community for a successful event.
I sincerely appreciate you for this wonderful occasion. It is with immense pride and deep appreciation that I stand here before you today as a special guest of honor at this year's Ovia Osese Festival right here in the historic and culturally rich Oguri community of Ogori-Magogo local government. Today is not just a celebration of culture, it is a celebration of identity, of value, and of sacred bond between generations. The Ovia Osese Festival remains one of the most historic and more symbolic cultural events in our dear state. And I commend the people of Ogori for keeping this tradition alive and with such compassion and dignity.
This celebration focuses on purity, but beyond that, unity and oneness. Different groups present songs and dances, while dignitaries and guests watch.
Well, we planned for it, and it came out the way we wanted. So we thank God for everything. Well, we're looking forward to a better Ovia Osese Festival that will be built around tourist centers in Ogori. And we look forward to receiving more guests, and more than what we have this year.
Now to health matters. The Institute of Medical Store Administrators of Nigeria, IMSAN, is urging its newly inducted pioneer members to avoid sharp practices and uphold the highest standards of professionalism, integrity, and ethics in the allied medical profession. The call was made by the Registrar and Chief Executive Officer of IMSAN, Mr. Akinwumi Samuel, during the induction ceremony and the inauguration of the Institute's National Executive in Abuja on Saturday. Samuel emphasized the vital role of the Institute in promoting excellence in medical store management, ensuring that healthcare facilities receive high-quality products and services. He urged the inducted members to make significant contributions to the growth and development of the profession while prioritizing professionalism and ethical conduct in their work. You're watching news now on News Central Television. Coming up, Somalia's capital hit by deadly floods as climate change fuels growing weather extremes. We'll tell you all about this and more just after the break. Stay with us. And welcome back. Still in West Africa, as authorities in Niger have arrested 3 journalists working for a private radio station, marking the latest detentions of reporters since the military junta seized power in a coup in 2023. According to Ibrahim Manzo Diallo, head of the Air Info Media Group, which owns the radio station, the 3 journalists were detained in Agadez this week, after reporting on the alleged end of security contracts between Niger and its Russian ally. Niger has been grappling with violence from Al-Qaeda and Islamic State-linked groups and has been under military control since a coup in July of 2023. Civil society and human rights organizations have raised concerns over increasing rights abuses and breaches of civil liberties under the junta's rule. In March, Amnesty International warned of a rise in arbitrary detentions with political parties and journalists facing severe restrictions and defamation-related prison sentences being reinstated. And off to where now at least 7 people have been confirmed dead following a devastating flood in Somalia's capital, Mogadishu, which occurred overnight on Saturday. Speaking at a press conference, Salah Omar Hassan, who's a spokesperson for the Banadir Regional Administration, reported that torrential rains, which began Friday night and lasted for about 10 hours, triggered the deadly floods. The flooding has displaced over 200 families and caused significant damage. Hassan also revealed that the floods destroyed the homes of 200 families and severely impacted 6 key tarmac roads, crucial for transportation in the capital. A UN report published on April 30th states that over 45,000 people have been affected by flash floods in Somalia since mid-April. The Horn of Africa remains one of the most climate vulnerable regions, with extreme weather events becoming more frequent and intense due to the effects of climate change. And out of health, there's a group of Nigerian healthcare professionals living and working in South Africa has come together to host the Healthcare Awareness Day event. The initiative is designed to provide essential health education, medical tips, and free services to communities across Johannesburg. Bongani Ziziba has more on this report. Take a look.
A special day unfolds dedicated to healthcare and hope for these individuals with love from the Nigerian healthcare professionals.
This is not the first time we have been doing it. For 5 years now, we've been going to our communities. We give them health education because we believe prevention is better than cure. We tell them what to do, how to live healthy, how to identify simple signs and symptoms, and how to report immediately when they see the signs and symptoms.
Their mission to empower South African communities with knowledge, care, and compassion, regardless of nationality. Many in the community say they have heard negative stories about Nigerians living in South Africa, but today they are thankful.
I want to say to people, it's not all Nigerians are bad. Some of Nigerians, they are good people. So sometimes you don't take bad things that they are doing. You must focus. You must check when they are doing good things also. Thank you so much for this program. We are very happy, and we are all welcome to our community.
Healthcare is a human right. No matter where you come from, everyone deserves good care. They did not just treat, but educate and uplift the spirit of those in need.
As professionals, we are coming out to show the population, to show the community of South Africa where we are based, that we are not all the same. We are coming to show them that, yes, there are good people, there are good Nigerians. We professionals, we nurses, we are good. We are coming out to give out of the abundance of what we have. Some of us have been trained back there from our country. Some of us have been trained here in South Africa. We've gained from the resources of this country, and it is only legal for us also to give it back to the society.
These Nigerian nurses say they will continue to serve with love, giving back one community at a time. In Johannesburg, for News Central, Bongani Ziziba.
You're watching News Now on News Central Television. Still ahead. Putin proposes direct talks with Ukraine and Istanbul on May 15th amid ceasefire calls. We'll tell you all about this just after the break. Stay with us. Hey, welcome back. Russian President Vladimir Putin has proposed holding direct talks with Ukraine in Istanbul on May 15th, just hours after Kyiv and European leaders called for an unconditional 30-day ceasefire to begin on Monday. The leaders of Ukraine, the UK, France, Germany, and Poland meeting in Kyiv on Saturday warned Moscow of fresh sanctions and military support for Ukraine if Russia did not agree to the ceasefire proposal. While Putin did not directly address this call in a statement delivered from the Kremlin, he outlined a counter-proposal for new Russia-Ukraine negotiations. Earlier in the conflict, Russian and Ukrainian negotiators held talks in Istanbul but failed to reach an agreement to halt the fighting, which has continued unabated. Putin reaffirmed his commitment to serious negotiations with Ukraine, stating he aims to address the root causes of the conflict and establish a lasting peace.
Мы настроены на серьезные переговоры с Украиной. Их смысл в том, чтобы устранить первопричины конфликта, выйти на установление долгосрочного, прочного мира на историческую перспективу. Не исключаем, что в ходе этих переговоров удастся договориться и о каких-то новых перемириях, о новом прекращении огня, причем о реальном перемирии, которое соблюдалось бы не только Россией, но и украинской стороной. Было бы первым шагом, повторяю, к долгосрочному устойчивому миру, а не прологом к продолжению вооруженного конфликта после довооружения, доукомплектования ВСУ и лихорадочного рытья окопов и новых опорных пунктов. Наше предложение, что называется, на столе. Решение сейчас за украинскими властями и их кураторами, которые, руководствуясь, похоже, своими личными политическими амбициями, а не интересами своих народов, хотят продолжать войну с Россией руками украинских националистов.
Nigeria Super Eagles will showcase a mix of NPFL players in the London-based Unity Cup, an Afro-Caribbean tournament featuring Ghana, Jamaica, and Trinidad and Tobago. Coach Eric Chile has called up players such as Nduka Jr., Sikiru Alimi, Isaac Savio, Ifeanyi Oyebuchi, and Ahmed Musa as part of the team's preparations for the 2025 African Nations Championship in August. The tournament kicks off on the 27th of May, with Trinidad and Tobago facing Jamaica and Nigeria taking on Ghana. The final and third place matches will be held on the 31st of May at the G-Tech Stadium in Brentwood. This competition, I beg your pardon, serves as a key warm-up for Nigeria's CHAN campaign. And on to La Liga, where tensions erupted at Sevilla's training ground on Saturday night as angry fans attempted to storm the facility following a 3-2 defeat to Celta Vigo. The loss, which was Sevilla's 15th of the La Liga season, leaves the 7-time Europa League champions in 16th place, just 2 spots above the relegation zone. Hundreds of frustrated supporters gathered outside the training complex, tearing down a gate in protest. The club's security team and local police intervened to prevent a full breach. According to local reports, players and staff remained inside the complex overnight for safety. Sevilla are struggling with just 3 matches remaining and are set to face relegation rivals, which is Las Palmas at home on Tuesday. And on to Bundesliga, where Harry Kane marked his first ever trophy with Bayern Munich as they secured the Bundesliga title in a 2-1 win over Borussia Mönchengladbach. Now, Kane netted his 25th goal of the season with a header from Michael Olise's cross in the 31st minute. The striker, back in the starting lineup after a suspension, played a pivotal role throughout the season. Post-match, Kane was drenched in beer while celebrating with his family. Reflecting on the victory, Kane said it meant more than individual awards, having finally overcome the weight of missing out on major titles in his career. Thomas Muller, making his 758th biennial appearance, received the Guard of Honor as he prepares for his summer departure. And lastly, in sports, for Italian Openers, world number one Jannik Sinner made a successful comeback at the ATP Italian Open, defeating Argentina's Mariano Novo 6-3, 6-4 in the second round. After serving a 3-month doping ban for testing positive for cluster ball in March, Sinner returned to competition following his suspension's end on the 5th of May. The Italian received a first-round bye as the top seed in Rome and made his season debut on clay. In the opening set, Sinner broke Novone's serve once to 6-3. The second set was closer, but Sinner broke again to close out the match, 6-4. Sinner's next challenge comes in the third round against Dutch lucky loser, and that's Jasper de Jong. I hope he doesn't go back to that. Anyway, that's all we can take at this hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. PDP governors convene emergency meeting in Abuja amidst growing defections. And we went on to River State, where the government there is calling for stronger collaboration to combat sea piracy and criminality. And off to Somalia, where 7 people have been killed in devastating floods in its capital, Mogadishu, following heavy rains. Now, do remember they can send us your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number now showing on the screen. And while you're at it, make sure to follow us on social media. We're at News Central TV on all social media platforms. You can always watch News Central live. We're on DSTV channel 422, Go TV channel 23, Star Times channel 274. Find us on Avo TV. Or better yet, just stream us live on YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Judith, a TV. Have a lovely Sunday.